how are you doing? I'm Nicole Crank, and welcome to my living room. Chanel, my little Pomeranian, and I just wanted to talk to you for a little bit today about the recipe for success in life. Actually, in a minute, we're gonna go into one of our women's events that was called Ooh La La.
Salt and sugar look the same. Salty Christians, not like, oh, I'm the salt and light. No, girl, you salty.
Before we get to that, I just wanted to talk about the fact that I am not a kitchen person.
I'm a messy cook. You can imagine what my kitchen looks like right now.
My best dish that I make is reservations. So hello, my kitchen appliance is the telephone. Uber Eats, we've got a thing in Florida called Cravy. What's your jam? What's your thing? How do you order food when you order out? Because it's not the same anymore. So I want you to tell me that. Get on my Instagram right now, Nicole Crank, and start letting me know, how do you order your food? You can also go to NicoleCrank.com. At NicoleCrank.com, there's a place to ask questions. There's a place for you to comment. And there's also fun stuff like there's a free download, there's a blog, there's all kinds of fun things. Chanel came back and joined us, and I want to make sure that you join us every single week for the Nicole Crank Show. Make sure you tune in on Mondays and Wednesdays at noon Central. Make sure you tune in Fridays at 11:30 Central. Set your DVR. We don't want you to miss it, because we're going to be talking about things about getting to that next level, baking it up, making it good. So what are some things that you can do in life? So we get to thinking about other people's giftings and what they're good at and what we're good at. And then, tell me if you hate this part. I hate it when I've got a thing and then somebody else tries to do my thing that I'm doing as if they were me. Why don't they just do their thing? And are they gonna be better at my thing than I am at my thing? And then I get insecure and then I get nervous. And the thing is, you're unique. You're your own person. Matter of fact, they might have your recipe, but they can't bake your cake. Somebody tweet that. Go ahead, put it on your Instagram story right now. They might have your recipe, but Chanel, they can't bake your cake, baby. I have her on here with me today because she feels a little floofy and a little French, and sometimes we just need to feel a little fancy. So we're getting ready to go hang out with some berets and some cakes, and actually, I just thought of this. I would like to just gather some recipes. That would be fun, right? To gather the recipes and share them among the whole Nicole Crank crew. So if you have a fave recipe, I want you to go to NicoleCrank.com. I want you to put your fave recipe on there. We'll get busy baking some stuff up in the kitchen. And matter of fact, we'll take you to my kitchen and we'll bake up the fave recipe. And we could do some cooking together, like legitimately for real, kind of like what we're getting ready to do on here. But right now, God's got bigger things for you. You know what? God asks us for what we've got so that He can give us what He has for us. So He wants that thing about you, that uniqueness, that thing that you're insecure that somebody else can do better than you. You know, my husband says sometimes, he says, nobody can be a better me than me. So I'm gonna be the best me that I can be. Let your freak flag fly. Be you. Bake the way you bake. Put the salt in your chocolate chip cookies, because I particularly love that. My mom can't stand it. That's okay. She bakes her way, I bake mine. Bake your way, baby. Live your life. Be who God created you to be. Now let Him work on you a little bit, but be who He called you to be, because God has called you to be the best you that you can be. So be you. Be confident. Sit up a little straighter right now. Just sit up a little straighter. Put that chin up a little bit. You were called to be here today. God called us to intersect in this space because He needed you to know, ooh la la, I love that girl. You know what? Let's go into the ooh la la message for just a minute.
How many people want success? Say amen. Then the subtitle is The Cost of the Cake. All right. We went grocery shopping last night, me and Ashton did, and we went to buy the stuff for the cake. So I just wanted to let you know we were on a time budget, if you know what I mean. So we got like the boxed cake, the canned icing, and I was even telling her, hey, buy the pastry bag with the icing already in it. Does anybody understand decorating in a hurry? right? And we got to check out, and it was like $37 to bake this cake. And I'm like, girl, this cake better be cute. This is ooh la la, a Parisian cake party. Oui, oui. Oh, c'est moi. That means it's me. It's about all I know. So we brought everything home, and she got to work today. She finished her schoolwork, rushed to the kitchen. She starts putting everything together. And how many of you know if you're going to be in the kitchen, you got to have the right stuff on? Right? So you got to have your apron on because you can't mess up all your cuteness. And so we've decided to wear an apron about how she is brave and she is courageous, right? And then the beret is good for a Parisian cake party, but really if you're going to chef it up, you really need to look professional. I figure if you can't do the job, you might as well figure you look like you could. So how about that? So we get in the kitchen. Ashton gets to work. We is her and the mouse in her pocket. And she gets to work and she makes the cake. And then I'm outside studying and I'm outside praying and doing my thing. And all of a sudden I get, Mom, you need to come in the kitchen right away. David says, what's happening? Is the house on fire? Mom, just come. The house isn't on fire, but I'm like, okay, the oven's on fire. I get inside. I'm like, what happened? She opens the oven. I expect to see flames, and I see cake dripping off the sides. How many of you know there are different kinds of tragedies? So the cake is dripping down off the side, and I said, honey, what happened? And she starts talking to me about it, and it's just oozing out. I said, how much longer does it have to go? She said, oh, it's done. When it's pouring out the edge, I said, oh, no, it ain't. She's like, no, Mom, it's had cooked enough time. I said, baby, that cake, I don't think it's going to be edible. She said, I don't know what happened. Betty Crocker messed up. We like to blame other people for our problems. And I said, no, I think you made a mistake. No, Mom, I did it. I said, well, tell me what you did. And she pulls out the box, and then she reads it to me. How many of us know just because the instructions are printed on the box doesn't mean that's actually what we did? Have you ever sworn that you did something and then realized you didn't? Okay, me too. So we find out she probably put a cup of water in. She put in the egg. She mixed everything together and thought, oh, I need to put the cup of water in. Everybody say mistakes happen. And I brought our mistake with us. This is what our mistake looks like. No. The bonus is right there down on the bottom, that thing where it boiled over, it looks like a chicken. So we made a cake chicken. So Ashton's like, Mom, please don't tell everybody what happened, please. And I said, baby, but it's so good. My Facebook, my online streaming friends, everybody needs to know that we make mistakes. We relate in our failures. So she begs and pleads, and her dad runs to the store, buys her some new cake. She comes back. She mixes it all up. By the way, husband, you are the hero of our home. Hey, baby, how you doing? How about we go on a date later? She mixes it back up. She gets it done. She bakes it. It comes out perfect. She decorates it. It is so cute. Now, all I have to do is get it on a plate so she can bring it. That's the easy part. Except for she didn't realize it's probably better to decorate the cake on the plate that you're going to bring it on. We're kind of new at this cooking thing in our house. So it was on a wire rack, and it was still a little warm. Y'all are fortune tellers. So I made a little video of how excellently I made this transition.
Ended up making this beautiful cake on this wire rack. And as her mom tried to get her to help move the decorated cake to the wire rack. Speaking of cake smash, epic fail, Mom. Way to go! She's gone. The cake's still here.
Don't miss the biggest blessing when things get tough. Sometimes the recipe goes wrong and it's a disaster. I love how I talk about recipes on the couch because this is where I cook stuff up. You can't do all your cooking in the kitchen. Come on, girls, you can't be good in every room of the house, right? I'm good in the living room. I'm good on the couch. My cooking is in my brain. I do my baking with my mouth. And I gotta be okay with that. If you guys invite me over for Christmas and we have Christmas cookies, mine aren't gonna be the favorite, but I'm gonna be fun at the party. So when it gets tough, because we are not good at everything, right, Chanel? Chanel says we're not good at everything, and that's okay. Chanel is very good at being cute, but she's gonna be a terrible security dog. Like if somebody comes to the door and she answers it with her little bark, so they're just not gonna be afraid. She's not good at security, she's good at being cute, and she's just nosing around right now. And that's what I love about this format that we're doing. We're not formal, it's not super studio. We're hanging out on the couch, just talking. Because I know that life can get tough and you can be in those tough spots. But here's what I wanna encourage you with. God is with you. Matter of fact, Deuteronomy 31 verse 8 says that God goes out before you. Like before you ever got there. Like last year. Like 2 decades ago. Like before your parents were ever dating. God was already way out in your future for this moment today when they walked out. For this moment today when you don't know if you can keep working here because it's so hard. For this moment today when you can't find a job and you don't know what you're gonna do. For this moment today when you can't understand why you can't find somebody, your life partner, your mate. For this moment today when no matter what you do, you feel like you're failing. God, eons ago, decades ago, millennials ago, he was in this moment right now. Deuteronomy 31 verse 8 goes on to say, he not only went before you, he's here with you now. John 5 verse 17. Jesus answers us when we ask the question, God, where are you? Jesus answers the question and he says, my Father's always working and so am I. Right now in Deuteronomy 31 verse 8, he says he's with you, he's never gonna leave you, he's never gonna forsake you. God is on your right side holding you up and Jesus is on your left side holding you up. Having done all to stand, and you think, I can't make it anymore. It says stand therefore, and you're not standing alone. God is standing with you. He is fighting for you. You are fighting from a place of victory, not from a place of defeat. So I wanna tell you this, come on, you've got this because God's got you.
What has God spoken to you to do? What have you already heard a whisper of in your heart? But you're like, get thee behind me, Satan. Who did he tell you to help? What did he tell you to lead? Who did he tell you to forgive? Who did he tell you to build a bridge? Lord, I didn't burn it. Who did he tell you to build a bridge with? Where did he tell you to stay? Did he even tell you to give away your very last cake and go ahead and think you're going to starve? Everybody say, but God. Ooh, I preached a message one time called You Don't Know My God. If you're in the mood to shout, you can look that up on YouTube. Everybody say sweet. And salty. We've got a recipe for success. And what are we doing with it? So 1 Kings 17, 13. Elijah says, don't be afraid. He says, go home and do as you have said. Go home and make you and your son a little cake. Go ahead and take care of you first. You know, we don't like to admit it, but we typically do take care of us first before we take care of what God told us to do. Well, I don't know about you, but how about me? Is that okay if I just say that about me? I will not leave the house without brushing my teeth. But I have left the house without reading my Bible. I'm probably alone, but if I'm not, go ahead and shout while I'm not looking. It says, go ahead. He says, but first. So don't be afraid. Go ahead and do as you said. But first, make a small bread of cake for me. You make me a little something. Well, the audacity of that man. Why would he ask her for something that he shouldn't? She's barely got anything. He says, go ahead and make a little cake for me and then make something for you and your son. And this is what the Lord God says. The jar of flour is not going to be used up. That's right. And the oil, it won't go away. It's not going to run dry until the day the Lord gives rain. He asks us for what we've got so that he can give us what he's got. And we get to thinking that it's like really for right away. We think it's for right now. Given you shall receive, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, run it over, shall man give into your bosom. Whether you're given friendship, whether you're given time, whether you're given love, whether you're given like the middle finger in traffic. Yeah, I know y'all are too holy. You're like, oh gosh, she watched me on the way here. No, we don't want to pour out. We don't want to pour out time to God because it's costing us. We don't want to pour out to our fighting kids to get them to do what he's telling us to do. We don't want to pour into a relationship where that man is sour all the time. We don't want to do what God has told us to do with all our might, forgiving, releasing, and trusting. It's not costing you. It's your recipe for success. Come on, somebody. We like our cake so much. I work so hard on this. I like my cake so much. I like this. I don't really want to share it with everybody. I just want my friends to have some. But here she is in verse 15. She goes away, and she does what Elijah tells her to do. Everybody say, praise God. Praise God. And then there was food. Here's